The Indiana Fever played the Connecticut Sun yesterday. It was a basketball game, but the basketball itself was overshadowed by other elements. It all began when Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark took a vicious eye poke from Jacy Sheldon, but instead of calming down, the game spiraled out of control, and Sophie Cunningham stormed in, launching a vicious attack. Okay, you guys, we need to talk. I just finished the Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun game, and it was a wild one that was so unexpected, everything got spicy. And everything went south. Marina Maber, wow, is Bever going to stay in this game? The entire league is now under fire. Some are calling it the ugliest moment of the season, while others say it's just the beginning. What really happened on that court, and why is the WNBA is giving out its harshest penalties ever? Let's break it all down. The shocking attack on Sheldon in the final seconds stunned everyone. Multiple players were thrown out. Referees faced historic fines, foul applause, Fever music gets bumped, will take from 3 when the Fever hit. The court, the first few minutes set the tone with hard fouls, trash talk, players bumping each other after whistles. Court and Caitlin Clark right in the middle of it all. The Indiana Fever had come into this game fired up, fighting through a tough stretch of the season, and Caitlin Clark had been taking more hits than any rookie should have to endure. Some would say that the opponents were getting too physical, and tensions were already high midway through the game. In a tense moment, Jacy Sheldon became entangled with Caitlin Clark. The crowd gasped, and Clark winced in pain. The cameras captured her wiping her eye as she attempted to shake it off, which I believe was what Clark didn't like. However, this was no typical foul. The players and fans knew it, and the atmosphere in the arena immediately changed. Can see here, Jacy Sheldon is protecting Caitlin Clark, and she swipes her in the eyeball before Caitlin Clark nudges her away, since Jacy remains in her face. Tina Charles approaches and begins to wave her finger in Caitlin Clark's face. Then, without warning, Marina Maber throws her to the ground. Let's watch this in slow motion. While Jacy Sheldon is protecting Caitlin, she swipes her in the face. One of the Ball's players swipes her in the eye, forcing Caitlin to start wearing goggles. Caitlin then pushes Tina off of her, asking, "Why are you still in my face?" In this particular game, Caitlin Clark kept complaining that she was scratching her arm and complained to the officials about it. To be honest, the entire game, they were jawing at each other and chirping at each other. Marina Maber was always on the sideline supporting her teammates because we all know Marina Maber. But really, the situation had already changed. Marina Maber, bat out of hell, chucks Caitlin Clark to the ground in Indiana. She didn't hesitate, charging in and bumping Sheldon, telling her that the Fever wasn't going to back down Sophie. Cunningham's hard fall on Jacy Sheldon and me was the boiling point. I genuinely believe that this was a message she was sending to the leagues and the officiating, as well as to everyone else, because if you watch any of these games, you will notice that there is a difference in the way they are officiated. And the Indiana Fever are held to a standard that no other team is held to. From that point on, every possession felt like it could start another fight. And with less than a minute remaining, everything came to a head. Sheldon drove hard to the rim for a layup. But before she could finish, Sophie Cunningham came flying in and complete took her down. Sheldon comes up with the steal. Sheldon goes coast to coast. And then we got another one. This time, it wasn't subtle. Sheldon's arms were up and her body slammed him to the floor. The whole arena erupted with trash talk, technical fouls, and other things. As Jacy Sheldon was sprinting down the court for a fast break layup, Sophie Cunningham grabbed her and gave her a hard foul. I believe this was Sophie. And since they were up by a significant amount in the final 46 seconds of the game, I believe Sophie was attempting to send a message to the league. Referees scrambled to get between the players. After several chaotic minutes before making their call, ejecting Sophie Cunningham, Jacy Sheldon, and Lindsay Allen from the game for a technical foul on Peter Charles. Wow, Is Mab going to stay in this game? Officiating to everyone who listens, like Indiana Fever, have had enough. This is what's going to happen. Players ran toward the scene. Coaches were screaming, fans were on their feet, some cheering, and others shouted in disbelief. Social media went crazy, with fans calling it one of the dirtiest moments in recent memory. Videos of the fight quickly went viral on TikTok and X, with one post even joking, "Might need to replace the hardwood with a boxing ring after this one." However, the fallout was just getting started, as the WNBA quickly reviewed the game footage and took action. Now, naturally, the referees will review the play because there was a lot of contact going on right there. There is a lot of unnecessary contact and non-basketball contact occurring during this play. So the 3 referees that I like to say were hired directly from Sephora because I don't believe they have ever officiated a professional basketball game in their lives. They were at the monitor and watched it for, I'm not exaggerating, 15 minutes. Over and over, they are watching this play, and referee Blanca Burns was given the most severe penalty the league has ever given out. The WNBA can't afford another incident like this. It's making headlines for the wrong reasons. But the bigger question now is whether the league has truly lost. Cunningham and Sheldon were both fined and suspended for losing control of the game, and other players involved in the chaos also received penalties. Some fans claim the league waited too long to intervene, while others contend the players had no choice but to fight back after weeks of uncalled fouls and rising tensions, particularly with Caitlin Clark being targeted game after game. Commentators are divided, since Caitlin Clark continues to receive criticism every week, and players like Sophie Cunningham are prepared to defend herself. This won't be the last time we see fireworks on the court. So, where does the WNBA go from here? Fans are still debating whether the fight was caused by the referees losing control, players going too far, or the league's failure to adequately protect its biggest star, Caitlin Clark. One thing is certain, though, tensions are still running high, and the next meeting between these teams is already being hailed as a must-watch. If the WNBA is unable to stop players like Sophie Cunningham from taking matters into their own hands, this season may just be getting started. DJ Jane Carrington, you are the dirtiest dirtbag of them all. Dane Carrington to Joni Carrington's shocking hair pull attack is the moment that could finally end her WNBA career, friends. Will the players calm down, or will we see another explosion on the court? And how will the league react if this happens again? Vicious attack style call it that DJ Carrington may have committed on any player worse than the eye poke, but this one in particular it's about a dangerous pattern that many people think the league is ignoring. And with Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in the sport today, already being targeted once before, fans are now wondering if it will take someone suffering serious injuries before the WNBA intervenes. DJ Jane Carrington wants to take to her social media to claim that she is the victim and that she's not a dirty player. That's right. Resending flagrant fouls on you because they're run by a group of cowards. They're dirty plays, trashy plays, and flagrant fouls. Someone's going to get seriously hurt at this point. DJ Jane Carrington, forget about it. You won't win despite these accusations because, at this point, basketball isn't the same as the WWE. You're so dangerous, Zeta only. There are no staged outcomes here, and actual players are being put in danger. What happened, and how did it come to this point? The biggest player ban in modern WNBA history could be triggered by what you're about to witness. Hi, I'm Caitlin Clark, guard for the Indiana Fever Music. It all began quietly. Joni Carrington has long been known for her tough defense. But lately, the focus has shifted because this is about playing dirty rather than hard. In the last month alone, Carrington has accrued 3 official flagrant fouls. And that doesn't even include to more instances that went uncalled but left players shaken and fans furious. The most recent one that went viral on social Media was Carrington's hair pull attack on Sarah Ashley. Barker-Carrington music during a heated third quarter of the Dallas Wings versus Los Angeles Sparks game. Barker was violently yanked to the ground by Carrington, who grabbed her by her ponytail. The arena gasped, and the referees called it a loose ball foul. Nothing flagrant. Technically, there was no ejection, but keep this up, guys, and let me know. If I'm dreaming, the announcer even had to say, "Whoa, bro," he was just stunned. Let's watch it again because it's so ridiculous. Come on, bro. You can't justify that. You can't justify that. Look at that. That's nasty work here, man. Commentators were shocked, fans were incensed, and the video went viral online with captions asking the obvious. How is this not an ejection? So, being the dirtbag that she is, E.J. Carrington chooses to take a ponytail of Sarah Ashley Barker's hair. Nice yank music. Then she has the gall to sit on the floor and pretend that she did nothing wrong. But that was just the most recent in a long line of risky plays. Let's go back a little earlier. Coaches and fans were left speechless by Carrington's reckless hit on her own teammate Paige Bueckers this season. Then she took a cheap shot on Jessica Shepard that was borderline flagrant once more and went unpunished. Pay attention to this now. From this angle, you can see that Paige is already making a pretty good defensive play right here. She has her hand on the ball and is ready to go. However, Gia is coming from behind with force, which is a reckless chase that propels Shepard and Paige forward. This isn't basketball, man. This is an unhinged, upset, frustrated play, and that's exactly what this is. Paige Bueckers' legs are completely out from under, and she's falling straight to her back after. You shoved them both forward. Not only did she shove her forward, but she also had her hand on the ball before raking back. Now, look at her leg. Rakes back. Look at that, bam, right on the eyes, scraping back. But maybe the most unsettling was what happened to Caitlin Clark, the league's most promising player, during a recent game. The video shows Carrington's fingers breaking across Clark's face as she was bringing the ball up the court. And Clark instantly winced, grabbing her eye in obvious pain. Carrington later attempted to downplay the incident as an accident, but the replays tell a very different story. And the fact that it happened to Caitlin Clark, the player, attracts millions of new fans. The WNBA made it worse, but it doesn't stop there. In just her last 5 games, Carrington has undercut Skylar Diggins' eye, swiped Caitlin Clark's eye, delivered multiple hits to opponents' heads in midair, and committed a dangerous hair pull that has gone viral worldwide. DJ people, someone built a little nice complication. Salute to you, Dirtbag Dane, and all of her glory. Look, we've got the Jessica Shepard. I rake heard all over the world where, folks, I cringe when see these plays. Carrington is completely losing control of her body and is falling all over the floor, scratching the teacher and digging her nails. Into my arm, what are you doing, buddy? We have a clean play against Ariel Atkins. But DJ Carrington just enjoys doing the whole, I'm going to reach back as far as I can and swat at you thing. I mean, dirtbag. Are you desperate for a big play? Or are you fine? Then we have the Skylar Diggins volleyball spike. Come on, guys, .1 radio caller put it best. This isn't hustle. This is someone treating the court like a back alley. This isn't a coincidence. This is a pattern. And that's exactly why fans and analysts are so outraged, according to League. Rules accruing this many flagrant fouls should result in an automatic suspension. But here we are with Carrington still suiting up as if nothing happened. However, the story gets even more troubling. At the heart of this growing backlash isn't just Carrington. If the league won't even defend Caitlin Clark, the player who is driving record TV ratings and attracting new fans to the sport, what message does that send? Already, posts on Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube are asking the same question. Is this the model you want for young girls watching the WNBA? How can the league claim to stand for no room for hate when Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has remained silent? Despite weeks of viral videos that have increased fan outrage and provided clear evidence of dangerous behavior. as video compilations of Carrington's dirtiest plays continue to circulate. The pressure on the league is increasing daily. One analyst bluntly stated that either the WNBA acts now or they risk losing the credibility they've worked so hard to build. Now that the tension has reached its peak, it's not just about Di Carrington's actions on the court. It's also about the WNBA's integrity and whether the league will survive. The calls are becoming louder. And fans, commentators, and former players are all in agreement that this cannot continue. The idea that a role player like Carrington can repeatedly cross the line by grabbing hair, swiping eyes, and undercutting opponents without facing real consequences has become a public relations disaster. And the stakes are higher than ever because this isn't just about following the rules anymore. It's about protecting the league's biggest stars. Starting with Caitlin Clark, who has already been targeted once. The WNBA claims to stand for fair play, professionalism, and no tolerance for hate or violence. But the silence surrounding Carrington's repeated offenses tells a very different story. The bottom line is that every game matters. If something worse happens to her on the court as a result of the league's inaction, the fallout will be disastrous, not only for the WNBA's reputation, but also for its future growth. For this reason, many are now calling for a season-long suspension, or even a permanent ban for Carrington, because of the excitement surrounding Caitlin Clark and a new generation of stars. People tuned in this season. They didn't come to watch a highlight reel of dirty plays. Hey, now everyone is watching Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. Will she finally take a stand and demonstrate that the league takes its own values seriously? Or will she once again choose silence and image over integrity? One thing is certain. If this continues much longer, the real people who will be banned won't be the players. Rather, it will be the fans who choose not to watch. This controversy is far from over. AR Warden is speaking, and he said that P5 said we had to go to bed. Girl, don't get me started on her. Are you back? Are you playing tomorrow? That's all I want to know. If you think Joni Carrington should be permanently banned, please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. If you want to be updated as this story unfolds, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications. Instead of attacking Sophie Cunningham during the game or during a heated moment of competition, Carrington waited until the game was over and then headed straight for the valley, causing chaos on the court. Cameras showed teammates intervening to prevent the altercation from escalating into a full-fledged brawl, leaving the crowd stunned and the commentators in a state of shock. However, the league remained silent. So what exactly happened and how? Did it get to be this way? She was out there hacking again against Phoenix today. And not only was she out there hacking and doing all that stuff, but she was also attempting to disrupt the Phoenix Mercury's huddle and start a fight with Satu Sabi and Mercury players. This is disgusting and you guys need to stop it because it's getting out of hand. This isn't an isolated meltdown. It's part of a disturbing pattern that threatens to destroy the WNBA from the inside out. Need to stop. And if nothing changes soon, the league might lose everything it has worked so hard to build. Let's start with what happened after the final buzzer. When the game ended, Sophie Cunningham was still on the court, tying her shoes and talking to her teammates when DJ Carrington came running over. Not to shake hands or offer congratulations, but to confront her. Kate Longworth will join her shortly, and they're still sort of chatting back and forth, and there's some serious drama going on down here. I'm surprised that security is still in place, as you mentioned. Carrington wasn't even on Dallas's team the previous season. SOTY video footage shows Carrington approaching Sally from behind before teammates step in as tension explodes. Sally looks confused, and Carrington looks furious. Security is nowhere to be seen. It's as if the referees just clocked out for the night. It's a little more banter between the players, but they're just letting them talk and walking them off. This wasn't just unsportsmanlike. It was dangerous. And it wasn't the first time, because Dajona Carrington has previously made headlines for hair pulling. trash-talking, hacking, and taunting opponents with reckless abandon. This is a pattern, and this time she might have gone too far. Carrington's history isn't subtle. She has been establishing this reputation game after game after game. Flagrant fouls, cheap shots, harassed. She once pulled an opponent's hair down in a moment that left fans wondering how she got away with it. And her feud with Seeley didn't begin here. The truth is, though, that they've been at it for a few years now. I remember seeing a clip from 2023 on YouTube. You can find it here for free. Enter DJ Carrington to disbelief 2023, and they got into a fight. And after she did something to her, DJ Carrington said something out of bounds, and she was fined $200. They then discussed it on Twitter, saying, "You know, DJ Carrington," had added Satu Sabi, who said, "Come on, Satu. You know, it doesn't even have to be like this." Satu Sabi responded, "Girl, whatever," adding that she has been slick at the mouth and that she and DJ Carrington act as though they don't have any media training or home training. Carrington was fined in 2023 after a heated incident with Sabali, and the tension spilled over onto Twitter, where he tagged her in a tweet in an attempt to downplay it. Sabali didn't bite, and ever since, the tension has been simmering. While she sets her feet with a shoulder shake and releases pressure, this is where it gets even more disturbing. Carrington isn't just aggressive, according to analysts. She's a strategic bully who only targets players she believes she can intimidate. Instead of going after 6'4" league veterans, she doesn't swing at Aja Wilson or Brittany Griner. Instead, she chooses rookies, younger players, or anyone under 6 feet, who is less likely to swing back or cause a scene. This isn't random. Rather, it's calculated. Carrington is using the league as her personal chaos stage, taking attention away from her teammates and keeping the camera there. It's become evident that this isn't just bad behavior, but ego-fueled sabotage. The most shocking aspect of all is that the league is doing nothing. The Dallas Wings actually put the worst person possible around a rookie when it comes to the WNBA on her, even when others deserve it. Like Paige Buers, who had her career best game that same night completely overshadowed by the post-game fight. Dirtbagine Carrington is the worst role model the WNBA could have. I'm not sure what's wrong with DJ, but she just can't seem to control herself. Commissioner Kathy Engelberg has come under fire for doing nothing but ignoring her. With no suspensions, no statements, and no leadership, just evasive PR tweets about sportsmanship, while Carrington handles post-game handshakes like a UFC witness. Is this a reality show or a basketball league? Viewers are inquiring. And what message does it convey that it's acceptable to lose your temper? That you can attack a player after the buzzer and leave without repercussions? That chaos is acceptable as long as it's captured on camera, and that she and Satu Sabi had a strong exchange following this game. As you are already aware, Phoenix defeated Dallas, one of the worst teams in the league. This shouldn't come as a surprise, but I can tell you that DJ Currency behavior is starting to look a little spooky right now. The WNBA is playing with fire, and if they don't take immediate action, this will be more than just a PR nightmare. Will be an existential threat to the league's future. What DJ Carrington did wasn't just another egregious incident. It was a signal, a breaking point for a league that was already balancing between self-destruction and rising stardom. When you have a game like this, which is a once-in-a-million event in the WNBA, people should be encouraged to watch the next game. But instead, they are being encouraged not to because of all this drama, all this fighting, and DJ Carrington constantly getting into fights and getting into trouble. She has been doing this since the beginning of my time watching the WNBA, ever since we got into this league. Drama, all this K-pop Breakfast Club crap, needs to stop because it is taking away from the actual game. Been a problem, and she's not even that good. So why do teams even pay her money? This time, it wasn't just a mid-game shove or trash talk. It was a planned post-game ambush that made Sabali appear like a target rather than an opponent. It was public, aggressive, and captured on camera, but the WNBA chose to remain silent, which speaks for itself. While Carrington's antics made headlines, Paige Buehr's amazing performance was overshadowed by Becker's, who, as rookies, are the only two rookies to score 35 points and make 5 three-pointers in a game. Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in the league's history, must now watch this chaos unfold and ask herself, is this the league I want to be a part of? Because, let's face it, she didn't join the WNBA to be blindsided after buzzer beaters. And she won't be the only star eyeing Europe. Players have worked for decades to bring women's basketball to this point. But one unchecked ego, one commissioner's inaction, and one more violent post-game moment could be all it takes to bring it crashing back down. The WNBA needs to decide whether it wants to be a reputable international brand or a chaotic sideshow with fights and more than highlights. Carrington doesn't need another slap on the wrist. She needs to be held accountable, and she should receive suspensions, fines, meaningful statements, and most importantly, a commissioner who leads like the future depends on it. The league's future depends on it, and Carrington can't be allowed to take over for her own brand, especially when doing so could force out the very players like Sabali, Buckers, and Clark. You're finally bringing women's equality. What do you think? Is Carrington out of control? Or is the league failing to stop her? Should the WNBA intervene before it's too late? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. And don't forget to like and share this post. For more in-depth WNBA coverage, subscribe.